Welcome back, baseball fans. 1972 Winter Baseball Classic. We continue into the round of three. We got a series between Coney Island and New Orleans. Two fun, kooky places to hang out and have a good time, I believe. Anyway, let's look at the bracket first of all and see how this works in to our schedule here. Coney Island is a number 7 seed, New Orleans a 10 seed, and they're only a half game apart, as you can see here, which means it's a best of 3. Game 1 in Coney Island, if New Orleans pulls the upset, Game 2 would also be in Coney Island, so that New Orleans would have home field advantage for deciding Game 3. Otherwise, it's back and forth, so that you don't face an elimination game on the road. Unless it's the ultimate game, of course. So let's take a look at what happened in Game 1. Game 1, it's Bruce Keeson in New Orleans versus Fritz Peterson in Coney Island. And this is a 4-2 final for the home team, the Coney Island Cyclones. They win this game. We have some sloppy defense here on a catcher error, scoring on an error to the catcher and a double play. 2 more errors, scores another run. New Orleans basically just gave this to Coney Island. They themselves had got an RBI triple by original A-Rod, a solo homer in the 9th by pinch hitter Tom Haller. But they lose 4-2. The home team, Coney Island Cyclones, led by a very star-studded lineup: Reggie Jackson, Boog Powell, Thurman Munson, Brooks Robinson. A lot of Orioles, Yankees make this team. They win 4-2. So, we'll, as you can hear, be in New Orleans. New Orleans, honey. Let's go to the game, and let's go get ourselves a logo here. Here we are. This will work just nice. Nice little gloomy photograph. Overcast day at St. Louis Cemetery number 1 across from Louis Armstrong Park in New Orleans. We have Game 2 of a best of 3. New Orleans wins this or they're dead and are buried in the walls of the cemetery. That's what we got. Coney Island at New Orleans. Oh boy, folks. Pitching matchup favors the visitors. The way the schedule falls with the days off and so forth, Coney Island is back up to their number 1 guy, Jim Palmer. And New Orleans has to counter with their number 4 guy, Buzz Capra. Now, Buzz Capra, his great year is 74, and that card is in the Summer League, so that won't be here. And Palmer had a fantastic year in 72, as you can imagine, all through the early and mid-70s. 21 wins and a 2.07 ERA. Coney Island wants to get a victory, go down to Jackson Square, get their cards read, and then get back on a plane to Coney Island. So let's get started from the Big Easy. Leading off for Coney Island, it is Tommy McGraw. 67 is a K. Cleon Jones, 67 is a K. And Reggie Jackson, 1-7, double 108 is a base hit, C-stealer. Number 4 hitter is Thurman Munson, 65, a strikeout. Bottom of 1, it's Davey Johnson, Jim Palmer's former teammate. He probably wouldn't have faced him when he got traded to Atlanta, but he gets to face him in spring training here. 49, second X. That's Horace Clark, former Yankees second baseman, and he gets up a single. Davey can't really steal. Richie Scheinblum, 1-5, flies to right. Rick Reichert, 38, single 1-19, gets it. 2 on, 1 out. Ron Blomberg, 2-7, double 1-3, single dot, and they're getting to Palmer in the first. On the corners, 1 out, playing back for Dave Kingman, 58 is a K. And with 2 outs, it's Willie Davis. You know, the thing about Willie, we had him at the top of the lineup, but then after the mediocre play of this team, we looked at the card closely, and A, he has no walks on it. B, he's got a homer on 5 and a 1-9 on 6. Folks, Willie Davis can crush the ball. He had 19 home runs in 1972. Why lead him off? So we put him in a nice middle RBI slot here. Could have batted him clean up or 5th, frankly. The pitch to Willie Davis. 2-8, he rolls to 3rd. Top of 2. It's, hey, you're Boog Powell. 1-4, flies to right. Elliot Maddox. 1-9, base hit for Elliot. Horace Clark. If you play for the Mets, the Yankees, or the Orioles, you're probably here, like we like to say. Horace Clark, 48, ball 4. 2 on, 1 out. That'll be Brooks Robinson. Brooksy, 47. Oh boy, he hits Capra. Double 1 to 13. Gets it. 1 to 13. That'll score a run. You got second and third, 1 out. They're going to bring the infield up for Fred Chicken Stanley. 1-9, first B. Good move to bring the infield up. Gets him at the plate. So now you've got runners at first and third with 2 outs. And it's Tom McCraw. 2-8 for Tom is a base hit to center field. We get a run anyway after a guy gets thrown out at the plate. Runner holds a second. First and second, 2 outs for Cleon Jones. And he strikes out. 2-1, visitors. A-Rod, original, 56, a K. Tom Haller has some big homers in this tournament. 49, single 1, lines out. And Don Mula, money, 37, a strikeout. Palmer paddles back. 5 in a row, retired. Reggie leads off in the third. 210, flies right. Thurman Munson, 6'6", is a K. And hey, your Boog pal, 46, triple chance on a 6. Rolls a 7, flies out. Capra walks guys, gives up homers. Lefties can't hit him, which is a lot different than a 74 card when righties can't hit him. All right. Bottom of the third, it's Davey Johnson, 1-7, a K. Richie Scheinblum flies to right. And Rick Reichert, 43, left X. Tommy McCraw is a 3-4 in left field. It's a 2-base error on Tommy McCraw, just what the home team needed to keep the inning going. Tie run, or lead run, is Ron Bloomberg. 66, off Palmer is a sky to center. 2-1, visitors, top of 4. It's Elliot Maddox, 33. Is a roller to third. Horace Clark, 58, short X. This is A-Rod at 3. A-Rod has to play third because they have 2 third basemen and no shortstops. Believe it or not, A-Rod's a 1-17 at third. They got nobody better at short. Don Money's a 2-11 at third. He's a 4 at short. So they go with a 3 and a 2 instead of a 1 and a 4. Anyway, short's a 3-48 and he makes the play. Brooks Robinson, 5'11", walks. Chicken Stanley, 2-5, a base at the center. Brooksy holds a second. Brooksy's laying 9 runner. All right, 2 on, 2 outs. Tom McCraw, who singled earlier. 54, pops to third. All right, 2-1 game. It's Dave Kingman, 35, strikes out. Willie Davis, 4'10", center X. Ellie Maddox, a 2-3 in center. He makes the catch, and with 2 outs, A-Rod, original, Aurelio Rodriguez, 5'11", second X. We got Horace Clark at 3-13 at second base, trying to get on base, and they do. Sloppy defense on the road for the road team, often. Tom Haller, 35, walk, and with 2 on and 2 outs, it's Moolah, Don Money. 56 off Palmer, a strikeout. So Palmer bent in the first, and that's been it. He's allowed some guys to reach. It's 2-1, top of the 5th. Basically, the visitors have 1 more run and 1 more batter. As we reach the 5th inning, Cleon Jones, 49, single on a 9, lines out. Reggie Jackson, he walks. Thurman Munson, 111, lines the second, and with 2 outs, it's hey, your Boog pal, 5'12", rolls the second X. That's Davey Johnson, 2-8, and that is the end of the inning. Nice start thus far for Capra, surviving a sloppy second. Let's go to the bottom of the 5th. Pause a moment for station identification.
This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
Okay, bottom of the 5th, it's Davey Johnson. 310 left. Richie Scheinblum, 56, second X. 313, it's already set up for that out. And with 2 outs, Rick Reichert, 2-4, bounces to short. Well, another typical low-scoring Winter Baseball Classic game. Top of the 6th. Capra is breaking inning here. Elliot Maddox, 37, is a walk. He's an ace stealer. Horace Clark's going to do a little hit run here. He rolls the 10 and pops out. Brooks Robinson will swing away. 2-10 for Brooks Robinson is homer. 1-3. Double the rest. Misses the homer. Gets the double. Maddox trying to score. 15 runner. Against the -1 arm. He's going to run on a 14. He scores on a 3. Nice base running there. It's 3-1. Chicken Stanley. 2-9 is a walk, and that will put a point of weakness on Buzz Capra. Oh boy. Not looking good for New Orleans. As Coney Island is back up top with 2 lefties coming up. I think we're going to go Gary Ross here. 5 1/3 in the books for Capra. Gary Ross had a nice little year. 1972 with the San Diego Padres, was 4-3 with a 2.45 ERA in 92 innings. He's needed now to help New Orleans continue their tournament run. In the 6th, Gary Ross, he'll face Tom McCraw. We got runners at first and second, and 1 out. And the pitch. 38, single, 1-8. Cannot get it. Rolled an 11 with 2 outs. It's Cleon Jones. 6'10", third X. This is Don Money, 2-11. Good defense at third. Makes the play. Nice answer for Mr. Gary Ross. It's a 3-1 game. Bottom of the 6th. Palmer's a starter 8. Is there defense to help Mr. Palmer? Nope, it's already in there. Guys on the bench aren't any better. So we'll just keep rolling here. Ron Blomberg, 58. Short X. No, that's not Mark Belanger. It is Fred Stanley, 327. Makes the play. Dave Kingman, 68. Skies are right, and with 2 outs. Willie Davis, 64. Catcher's X. And the catcher is Munson. Very high reading. A 2E16 catcher. It's like the word, yeah, there it is. That's an error. It's like the -4 arm catcher, but he's an E16. Corrales, you could bring him in as a defensive replacement late in the game so guys don't reach base. So just like that, a tie run steps in the box. It's A-Rod. 67 is a strikeout. Palmer battles back after the error by his battery mate. Top of the 7th, it's Reggie Jackson. 1-7, double 108 is a base hit. C Steeler. Munson, 38, pops to third. Your Boog Pal, 67, lines to second, and with 2 outs, it's Elliot Maddox, 63. Back to the mound, Gary Ross is an E15 pitcher, knocks it down, and he makes the throw to first base. Well, that's a pretty good baseball game. 3-1, bottom of the 7th. Stretch time here in New Orleans in the Voodoo Lounge. We are listening to Dr. John. I get all your ills. Lockdown, great LP from 2012. Lockdown Revolution, Big Shot, recorded with some of the guys from the Black Keys, I believe. This is a fantastic record coming out of nowhere. Back to his 68 era stuff, 42 years into the future. How about that? Dr. John in 2012 doing the Gree Mojo, Gilded Splinter stuff all over again for us. Good for us, huh? All right, back to the game. Great LP, go get it. Back to the game, bottom of the 7th. They are down 3-1. They got to get this thing going. Jim Palmer has 9 outs to get. He's got Kent Sanders, Fred Norman, Dick Bosman in the bullpen if he needs it. All his defense is in as well. Tom Haller will lead off in the bottom of the 7th. 1-9 is a walk. Boy, Tom Haller has been a tough out all tournament long. Mullah, the tie run. 54, center X, and a 2E3 in center field makes the catch. Davey Johnson, former teammate. 1-7 is a K. And Richie Scheinblum, former Angel Royal, one-time All-Star. 2-11 rolls to third. Palmer has had no difficulty, really. Since that first inning, he's only allowed 1 hit, 2 errors by his defense. Sure, Palmer is not pleased with that. We go to the top of the 8th. Gary Ross did a nice job in relief. He's a relief 4. You might as well leave him out there. It's an elimination game. It's going to be Horace Clark leading off at the top of the 8th. 1-3 rolls to third. Brooks Robinson, a big 2 doubles this game. He and Palmer are your game MVPs. 1-5, Brooks Robinson, another base hit. He is 3 for 3 plus a walk, scored a run, driven in 2 of the 3 runs. Great day to be Brooks Robinson. All right, Fred Stanley. 37 is a K. And back up top, it's Tommy McCraw. 5'10 is catcher's X. That won't score a run. It is a 4-E2 catcher, and that ends the inning. 3-1 game. Aside from the errors, well played strategy-wise, low scoring, tight affair. Palmer continues, needs 6 more outs to advance to the next round of the tournament. It'll be Rick Reichert leading off. 2-6. You know, all the New Orleans team needs to do is get a guy on base and hope for the home run off Palmer. That's the one kryptonite that Jim would have. Often hint that's the only way you could beat Seaver or Catfish Hunter or Don Sutton. You'd have to pray for that home run with a man on base. Ron Blomborg, 37, single 1 to 3, and he converts with a single 1 to 2. That could be a haunting play here because here is Mr. Home Run, Dave Kingman. 43 just misses a homer 1 to 12 by 1 dice roll. Fly ball to left X, and out in left field, it's McCraw. He's a 3-E4 in left field. It's a double ... More bad defense in this kooky game. It's now 3 to 2. Palmer's completely disgusted with his defense. Tie run at second with 1 out, and you're about to break. You could be proactive here. I don't think they're going to do it. They're going to hook Palmer here after 7 1/3. He tosses the ball to, I don't know who manages the Coney Island Cyclones, but maybe Lou Reed does. Anyway, Fred Norman is going to come out of the Coney Island bullpen, a lefty, starting pitcher. Has to go to the bullpen because they have so many starters and not enough relievers. Fred Norman was a Padre at 72. 9-11, 3.44 ERA. Fred Norman comes on in the 8th. The tie run is at second, and will face the lefty, Willie Davis, with Ken Sanders warming in the bullpen. The pitch to Willie Davis. 5-10 is catcher's X. This could get him the third. Again, Munson, a 2-E16. You got to avoid that error if you can. Wild pitch, foul out. Well, that's not too bad, I guess. You got a guy at third with 2 outs, and you got A-Rod. Let me think if I can get this guy out with somebody other than him. And the answer is no. I'm going to let Fred Norman face A-Rod. I'm not that impressed with A-Rod, plus there's a lefty on deck. So he'll face A-Rod with a runner, tying run at second and 2 outs. The pitch to Aurelio Rodriguez. 110 misses the triple, and it's a fly ball to left on 110. Gets to the warning track. Norman does the trick. Gets out of the inning. It stays 3 to 2. We go to the 9th. Gary Ross has pitched wonderfully, but he's also pitched a long time, so we want to pull him after 2 2/3, and we'll go to our closer, Jack Aker, in the 9th inning, noting that, well, they're 3 outs away from being out of the tournament anyway, so you may as well go out with your best. That would be Jack Aker. He was a Cub in 72, 6-6, 2.96 ERA, 67 innings. As he takes the mound, we will have a pinch hitter for Cleon Jones. Get a left-handed bat in here against Aker. And that will be Jerry Kenny. Jerry Kenny will step into the box. Another former Yankee. Jerry Kenny also take over at DH. Here's the pitch to Jerry Kenny. 55, short X. That's A-Rod, a 3.48 shortstop. And he gets up a single. Shoddy defense in this game. And it's Reggie Jackson. 54 is short X again. 3E48 again. Single ... again. Well, folks, we're just playing defensive ball here. We're not doing any hitting. We're just letting defenders kick balls all over the field into a competitive game, if you can imagine that. Runners are on the corners. Somebody, please, bring the gloves. Put a note there on the clubhouse steps. Take your glove to the field. You can't have gloves in the dugout. You need to use those when you're in position. All right, runners on the corners. Nobody out. They got to bring it up for Thurman Munson. 69, and it's off of Aker. Double 108. That's a base hit, and the Boo Birds come out. This was a very winnable game, and now it's back to 4 to 2 because nobody can catch anything. You got runners in the corners for Boog Powell. Bringing the infield up again. The pitch to Boog. 66. Second X. Here we go. This is Davey Johnson, 2E8 at second base, and that will make the play. With the infield up, the runner holds. Runner from first goes to second. You got second and third. Still up for Elliot Maddox. 56 is a sac fly to center field. Nothing you can do about that. But 2 outs. It's Horace Clark. 2-6, second. Well, gift runs are the order, but Fred Norman has a 3-run lead to take into the bottom of the 9th. Tom Haller, you know, he actually just might bat because he actually has on bases against lefties. And as soon as you go to a pinch hitter, they're going to take Norman out and go to one of the right-handers. So Tom Haller will actually swing away here, leading off the bottom of the 9th. Here's a pitch to Tom Haller, who has reached twice today. 3-6 3 times. Third straight walk for Tom Haller. That's exactly what you do when you're down 3 runs. You can't be a hero. Can't win it all in one swing. Now you got Don Money. 4-10. Right B. So glad not to see an X come up. Back up top, Davey Johnson. Kind of weak against lefties. Got a bunch of guys who could do better than that. I just counted the outs on the card, and Larry Brown's got fewer of them, so I'll just have Larry Brown pinch hit for Davey Johnson because he gets lefties better. Larry Brown. 1-7 lines to the second. Wouldn't have mattered either guy. 2 outs, a man at first, and the New Orleans tournament is in the hands of Richie Scheinblum, Rick Reichert, and Ron Bloomberg. Got to save a pinch hitter if as Bloomberg can't hit lefties. Norman will probably, he'll probably go the last 4 here. And so here we go. It's all up to Richie Scheinblum with a runner at first and 2 outs. Here's the pitch. 2-4, misses the column, bounces the short, and that is that. Yep, got interesting in the 8th, but then the 9th, and kind of a meh kind of game where defense dictated way too much of it. Just understating you should have good defense. Of course, I believe we had a single off a 2E3. Is that this game or the other game? So sometimes you just get lucky. A 5-2 victory. The Coney Island Cyclones in the round of 3 win 2 straight right after the Hollywood Hills won 3 straight. So sweeping is in vogue here in the tournament. Let's do the box and look at some stats, and then we'll just go to an elimination video for the New Orleans squad. Jack Aker in the 9th gave up 3 singles and a run. Gary Ross went 2 2/3. Did a nice job, really. 2 hits and a K in almost 3 full innings. Capper does take the loss. 6 hits and 4 runs early. Actually, 3 runs early, I'm sorry. Jack Aker gave up 2 in the 9th. My bad. 3 runs charged to the starter were all earned. 5 walks, 4 strikeouts. Fred Norman gets a save. How about that? Can't find a spot in rotation, send him the bullpen. Does a nice job there. Was a relief starter, decent chunk of his career anyway. Fred gave up a walk in earning that save. Ken Sanders got the save in game 1, so they got a lefty-righty punch at the end of the games. Palmer does get the win. Having just an okay tournament at this point. Lost a couple starts, but there we are. 1019, 0109, 51126. Moreover, they saved Tom Seaver. He's the number 2 starter. Basically, it's 1A and 1B in either order. Palmer just had a better 72 than Seaver did, so that's why he gets top dog. But Seaver will be available to start the next round for Coney Island, who looks set up pretty well for this tournament. 1019, 0109, 51126. 5638 3856. That is game 2. These games are short and quick. The one thing about this tournament is a lot of mediocrity, but when mediocrity plays mediocrity, you still get competition, you know? That's what we're looking for here. Balance. Very low scoring games. A 3-2 game is per norm, really. We've had 1-0 games. Definitely enough shutouts thus far. So New Orleans finishes 5-7. If you're getting back to 500. Coney Island is at the 7-4, hitting .256 with a 3.04 team ERA. We can plug that in over here. Actually, 2-0 home team Coney Island. So they're 7-4. And the 5-5 guys are now 5-7. Don't know who Coney Island's going to play yet. Hollywood advances, 11 seed. Coney Island advances, 7 seed. Still got more baseball to play. Stay tuned to the end of this video. We'll show you the New Orleans Sugar Magnolia. We show you their players. Thanks for checking this out, folks. Okay, baseball fans, we're going to take a look at the New Orleans Sugar Magnolia who lost that series. Take a look at their cards a little closer. Look at all the different categories we have. We begin with 5 players who have carry-on cards presently in our league, Summer League, including Davey Johnson. Of course, we have his 40 home run card, so we don't need this one. Down in money, we have him as a 1 third baseman playing for Colorado. Aurelio Rodriguez is a 1 third baseman playing for Las Vegas. We have Richie Scheinblum with a 328 card for the Angels. Buzz Capra has a 74 card, but has a walk there and nothing else, which is very crazy for a right-handed starting pitcher who goes on 3 days rest to have. That leaves 5 guys on the keeper list. Beginning with a very interesting Willie Davis. I made this point in the broadcast. You look at the card and you're like, this does not look like your conventional Willie Davis card. That's a lot of pop there, folks. That's a lot of, 19 home runs for Willie. Not a lot of walks either, only 27. Think about that. 19 homers, 27 walks. Do you really want him leading off? Put him in the middle of the lineup, driving some runs. So that's something the Dodgers might think about. Boy, they really wish they could have had that amount of power and punch, because they were much as single hitters in the late 60s, early 70s. But good card for Willie Davis. Still a 1 in center. Still a Dodger, hasn't been traded out yet. Kingman with his homer walk strikeout conundrum. Plenty of homers here. It's Kingman. He's on Colorado. Blomberg has better years in 73 and 4 than this. Now Vida Blue will be the first pick in the draft, we believe, by the Ohio expansion team, giving up a king's ransom in a trade, because you can remember, Vida Blue is coming off an MVP in 1971, though he'll never pitch that way ever again. However, for a decade, he will be a top-notch pitcher. This particular year, it's great pitching, but he got hurt, missed some starts, so he doesn't pitch on 3 days rest. And Bruce Keeson will play the whole decade with the Pirates. Fill in here and there in the bullpen and in starts. Never really wins more than 10, 15 games, or never pitches 200 innings. But he's a steady pitcher. Here he's just 22 years old. Now you got 4 guys on waivers. Tom Haller, very effective. I tell you, a left-handed hitting catcher with power. I'm always going to look at these guys, particularly if you can grab some walks. What always comes to mind is that Oakland would like to have a catcher that can platoon with Gene Tennis, and this guy would be a good example of that. Rick Reichert, 29-year-old outfielder from the White Sox. And this actually is a pretty decent card. Remember, 72 was not a very good offensive year anyway. So 251, I know it doesn't sound glamorous, but it's a real nice card when you look at the walks, you look at the out chances that are present. A big triple on 7. So it means he hit 4 of them, probably all against lefties. Jack Aker, decent reliever, probably not closer material anymore, but good in the bullpen, setup guy. And Jim McLaughlin still has starting potential. 31 games, 21 starts, a 3.91 ERA, 145 innings. Did that for the Big Red Machine. Probably would have been in the World Series, I'm guessing. Jim McLaughlin, so he'll probably get a job. Someone will pick him up. And surprisingly, we have a nice list of players. New Orleans, what happens, if you're wondering why some teams have a few free agents and others have a lot, is that New Orleans simply has a lot of guys whose cards are taken out of the 72 box and put in the Summer League because it's their best year. For instance, off the top of my head, I would say Necro, Sutton, Billy Williams come to mind. So they're not going to be here because their best year was 72 in the timeline, and those best 72 players are elsewhere. So that's why they get replaced with undrafted free agents. So Larry Brown was an infielder, played in the league a few years ago, not last year. His stick is waning. He is utilitarian. He does okay against lefties. This is a possibility for getting drafted. Terry Humphrey, a catcher, probably just against lefties. No power really hurts him. His arm is -1. That helps him. Ted Ford is a good enough corner outfielder against lefties at least. You probably don't want this guy playing every day. Seems to have enough power. Good 3 -1 E8 in the outfield. 72 is probably his best year in a very rather short career. Was a Texas Ranger. You know, probably got to play a lot because it was Texas. They were going to lose a lot of games, so let this guy get some experience. It didn't, you know, they would replace him with Jeff Burroughs and Tom Grieve and guys like that. Gary Ross pitched for the Padres. Pitched on 3 days rest in 76, I believe, with the Angels. This is a decent card. 2.45 ERA in 92 innings. Got to watch those walks, but otherwise, this card will probably make it. Very young Milt Wilcox. 22 years old. Does he not pitch in the 70 series against Baltimore for the Reds? Here's with Cleveland. Eventually he finds his stroke, or he finds his groove on the mound with the Detroit Tigers. I think he gets a World Series ring with them in 84. And lastly, here's a guy who'll just keep on pitching because he throws with his left hand. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Dan McGinn in 71 had a 5.96 ERA. Well, he comes back with the Cubs in 1972, and he pitches a little bit better to a 5.86 ERA in 63 innings. 5 losses, no wins. Again, can you get some lefties out? Homer 1 fly ball, we like that. The 1-12 shot, they're going to miss that. But otherwise, you know, this is the dire need the league has for left-handed pitching in a nutshell. So that is how it looks, folks. That is your New Orleans Sugar Magnolia squad, 1972. But their tournament is over. Dr. John and the Gree, go get some gumbo, some jambalaya. We'll see you later.